I hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you joining me once again. We're going to be looking in Numbers 13 and 14 today. Yesterday we looked at Joshua and Caleb and how they encouraged the people to not rebel against the Lord. Today we're going to look at the rebels. And today's hymn is We're Marching to Zion.
Come we that love the Lord, and let our joys be known. Join in a song with sweet accord, join in a song with sweet accord, and thus around the throne, and thus around the throne. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God.
I believe following verses, one of them speaks about, let those who never knew our God refuse to sing, but children of the heavenly King, let us speak our joys abroad. Let's look at our passage now. Some of these we looked at yesterday in Numbers chapter 13, verse 1, and I want to read this one again. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel from each tribe of their fathers. You shall send a man, every one a leader among them. A little later in the account, as they come back, they say, this is what we found. Yes, the land flows with milk and honey. People, they're strong. We found Hittites, Jebusites, the Amorites. We found all those folks and the Canaanites dwelling by the sea. They found the giants. The descendants of Anak were there. And they give this bad report. We're not able to go up against them. We're stronger than they are. Chapter 14, as we looked at yesterday. And let me back up. Pardon me. Congregation lifts up their voice. Like we said, they want to elect a leader and they want to go back. Joshua and Caleb speak up, and the people actually, I believe, want to stone them. Not a good picture at all. And the Lord is going to pronounce judgment upon them. And we know what's going to happen. Verse 32 of Numbers 14, but as for you, your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness. Your sons shall be shepherds in the wilderness 40 years and bear the brunt of your infidelity, until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days for each 40 days for each day you shall bear your guilt 1 year, namely 40 years, and you shall know my rejection. Verse 36, now the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, who returned, made all the congregation complain against him by bringing a bad report of the land. Those very men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before the Lord. So it looks like they died immediately. But Joshua and Caleb, of course, did not. They remained alive. So Moses tells all these words to the children of Israel. The people mourned greatly. They rose early in the morning. They go up to the top of the mountain. They say, here we are. We will go up to the place which the Lord has promised, for we have sinned. And Moses says, why do you transgress the command of the Lord? For this will not succeed. Do not go up, lest you be defeated by your enemies. The Lord's not among you, for the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you've turned away from the Lord, and the Lord will not be with you. But they presumed to go up to the mountaintop, nevertheless, neither the ark of the covenant, nor the covenant of the Lord, nor Moses departed from the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountain came down and attacked them, and drove them back as far as Hormah. So, what points might we make? One is they feared man. We know what Jesus said, do not fear those who kill the body. It's all they can do. All they can do. He goes on to say, I'll tell you who you should fear, though. And that's the thing, that these individuals, they feared man. They feared what man could do. They feared the giants. They feared the Jebusites. They feared the Hittites. They feared all those individuals. They said they are stronger and they are mightier than we are. Let me ask a question. Do you really think that anyone in that land was stronger than the Egyptian, than Egypt? You think any of them were stronger? Egypt was the powerhouse of the day, and God had crushed them. God had absolutely crushed them frankly, through no effort of Israel. God handled it on his own. These individuals, we're not at the end of the wilderness years. We're at the beginning. All of these individuals, and this is the point that's made in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, they all ate of the manna. They all drank from the rock that followed them. They all came through the Red Sea, baptized into Moses. They all saw all of those things that happened to the Egyptians. They all saw what happened to Pharaoh. They all know what happened to the firstborn, those who did not have the blood of the posts. They all saw all that. And yet here they are, and they're scared. And they say, oh, they're mightier than we are. Not mightier than Egypt. And if they're not mightier than Egypt, and God's mightier than Egypt, then God is mightier than them. But they're scared. They're afraid of what the Anakim will do. They're afraid of what the Hittites and the Jebusites. They're afraid of what the Canaanites will do. Who should they have feared? And I think this is the thing. When the plague breaks out, and then what do they all do? Then they all, okay, we're ready to go now. Go now. And Moses says it's not going to work. The judgment's already been pronounced. Now we have 40 years wandering in the wilderness to look forward to. Thanks, guys. But no, you can't go up now. The Lord's not with you, and they presume to, and the Ark of the Covenant's not with them. The Lord's not with them, and Moses isn't with them, but they go up on their own, and what happens? They're defeated. They're defeated. They needed to learn to fear God, but the Lord had not told them. At this point now, the Lord has changed. The Lord has changed his mind, so to speak. Now it's not time to go up. Before it was time to go up. When Caleb said, let us go up at once, that's when you should have said, yeah, we can do this. Not now. Now the pronouncement has been made. 40 years. They learned to fear God, and I hope they keep fearing God. But as we look at what's going to happen in the upcoming chapter 2, because we are not too far removed, I believe, from Korah, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, we're not too far removed. Yeah, chapter 16 is Korah. So they really learned to fear God, didn't they? Korah's rebellion. We'll talk about that when we get there. Remember where it started. They chose leaders. Leaders were chosen, one from each tribe. And that's who the people listened to, the leaders. Joshua and Caleb were chosen. But those other 10, they were supposed to be leaders too. Just because someone is a leader doesn't mean you should listen to them. There are leaders out there that are not leading in a godly way. There are blind leaders, the blind. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to those other 10 individuals, because if you listen to them, you're going to bear the consequences. The blind lead the blind, and they fall into the ditch. Sadly, Joshua and Caleb, they're going to be in the wilderness 40 years, but they're not going to stay in the wilderness. Joshua and Caleb are going to see the promised land. So, we have to learn these things as we ourselves are marching to Zion. Don't fear man. What can man do? I'll tell you who you should fear. The Lord. And do it before it's too late. And listen to the Lord. And listen to those who are actually following the Lord. And by that we mean those who speak as the oracles of God. If it's not in Scripture, then it's not from God. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.